got a ghost story for you. Let's all get together, share this, like it, make it go viral. Maybe, with a little bit of luck, we can make it go viral enough so that it ends up being a cliffhanger for the new season. Okay? Break. Back to it. A ghost story. It is supposed to be the end of the year cliffhanger just because you got the New Year's show and the Christmas show so close together. So here's what happens. The lady from the publishing representative that talked to Sam in the beginning, she is a Civil War buff and was familiar with Higgins' Tooth's brief part in history and was intrigued how much more information Sam had, which is why she wanted to get the book published. Now, she is ghost sensitive, but doesn't make a big deal about it, but she was well aware that there's spirits in the room, but she just can't really name them or hear them or see them. She can point in their general direction and, well, there's one over here and there's one over there and generally get where the ghosts are. So this publisher, she decides she wants to host a Christmas party for her friends. Some of them are in the business, some are just people she knows. But she would like to have a period Christmas party at Greystone Mansion. Everybody's gonna come dressed up as, period characters because they like doing that. Yeah, and well, there's a storm coming, but it's in anyways, and many of the guests are gonna be spending the night because it's a weekend party. So that's not so concerned, except that the roads get blocked in. We know this, it could take a few days, but like we said, it's an inn. But then the power goes out. Yes, they have kerosene lamps and candles to at least not be in the dark, but there's no heat, there's no hot water. Yeah, Jay can cook because there's a gas stove, but all the food in the freezer is going to spoil unless they stick it outside. And somewhere in this is when Hattie says yes, she never agreed with whoever it was that converted over to electric. See, when the mansion was built, because back in the early days of electricity, a place like Woodstone would have their own steam generator, which is located in the wood grove to the left of the mansion. And yes, Sam and Jay saw it when they were exploring the place, but they thought it was a root cellar because it's only a roof above the ground, because it's a deep pit with the coal being dumped into level 1 and the furnace is below that, so that the coal is just gravity fed right down to the furnace. It's locked from the inside because there's an access tunnel from the powerhouse to the main house, mainly because they needed to run pipes and wires and all that stuff from the powerhouse into the house. But if they could get it going, they can have power. Well, one of the guests at the party, father was a plumber, sent him to business school to run the business end of the business, and he did so until dad died, and then he'd much rather sell the plumbing business by publishing business because there's more money in it. Know what to check for and how to get the furnace running. So they go into the basement and they find the door hidden behind a whole bunch of boxes and stuff because nobody ever went back there anymore. And they get into the powerhouse and they discover the ghost of the old powerhouse guy. See, he was a retired fireman from the railroad when Hetty hired him. He was hired to operate the powerhouse at the mansion. When they converted over to electric, they let him stay there. They only knew he died because he stopped taking the food they left out for him. But no one ever went back there. And, well, his ghost was dedicated to making sure that fine steam machine that was bought by these rich people stayed in tip-top shape. His ghost power is he can polish and maintain and keep it rust-free and as good as new. But he can't make repairs. That's what you got the other guy for. But still, the pipes are running. The steam pipes heat up the hot water and the mansion. Even when they converted over to oil heat or whatever, they still use the same steam radiators, which are still connected in case, the furnace breaks down. They have backup, so it's all connected, it just has to be turned on. This sets up the cliffhanger. Crisis is over, they have power, they're celebrating, but because it's steam heat provided by a boiler that had to have so much PSI to operate the steam engine, to operate the generator, it's just like 75, 80 degrees in the mansion because it don't cost any more to run it that hot, and gee whiz, you know, why be cold when you can be warm? But still, it has to be that hot just to maintain electricity. And that's when Fonzbees come over, because they see that they have lights and, you know, they're having a party and would mind if they could bring over their party and use one of the many rooms in that huge mansion. And, well, their party, of course, you know what kind of party that is, so they like the heat because they get to walk around in their underwear. And that'll bring about the conflict for next year, because, you see, the roads are blocked. Seriously, it's going to take them quite a while to get the repair trucks down the road where the wires are down on the way to the mansion, because they're too busy cleaning up all the other roads just to keep traffic moving and having access, because, you know, this is a story. We need conflict, and there is some. Okay.